Here we go with another episode of The Vent. I am your host, Arvis. Today I got this super diva with me, Asia Knowles. Welcome to the show, Asia.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Don't be shy with me now. Welcome to the show, Asia.
Hi.
There we
thank
go.
you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. Man, I am ecstatic because you are a superstar in your own right. Your grind and your hustle. I would love for the listeners and the viewers to know a little bit about who Asia is. Asia, and I can let them know, but I prefer you to do it. Mm-hmm. So let's give a little bit of a background of where you come from, and then we're going to segue into what you do.
Well, initially I am from Jacksonville, Florida.
Duval, right? And I said it right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm 23 years old. I pretty much lived in Jacksonville, Florida my entire life up until the age 17. I joined the United States Air Force and moved away to an area about 4 hours away from Jacksonville. So that's where I'm at right now. Still currently active duty Air Force, also a personal stylist on the side as well.
I told y'all. I didn't make this up. Super, super talented individual, young, enthusiastic, great at what she does. She's one of the dopest stylists in the game right now. We're going to allow her to elaborate on, the things that she come across while doing it. And what got you into it? Like, what got you into doing, like, styling people?
Well, I always had an eye for fashion simply because I worked at a warehouse when I was 16 years old. The warehouse was a manufacturer for other like basic attire. So what I would do is buy the sweatsuits and sweatshirts at their price and basically go to high school, and resell it for a higher profit. So I kind of gained a social media following doing that initially. And I just always had an eye for fashion. That's just something I've always been really good at.
So think about that for a second. Like I do my best to allow the youth to understand. This young lady is only 23 years old. She started hustling at the age of 16 in high school because she didn't have to worry about. She didn't want to worry about your mom, dad. Like you handle business on your own. Mm-hmm. Like you. It took us about 45 minutes to make it up here because she was just answering calls and text messages. She was over here. I got 3 phones, but her one phone ring more than every last one of them put together. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. I actually have 2 phones. The other one is just on silent. That's the military phone.
That's the military phone. That ain't business right now. And peep the Army fatigue. I don't know if that's no pun intended, but she made that happen. Styles, right? That's what she do.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I want to know, like, once you started, like, what year did you start?
So I started the sweatsuits 2016. I took a break from it once I enlisted into the Air Force to kind of focus on my job in the military wholeheartedly because the Air Force is ultimately my career. Okay. Got a lot of benefits there. I went to Afghanistan with the military in 2017, and Afghanistan is a very hostile war zone.
Agreed.
So, I made so much money just being in that area simply because the military has this mindset if you go to a war zone, they'll pay you more money because the odds of you getting killed are very likely. So the money that I made from my time in Afghanistan, I just invested it in more clothing.
What'd you do?
I invested the money that I made into more clothes because I made so much money. So I'm like, well, I don't want to blow it, so I'm just going to do what I know and go ahead.
Love, right?
Yes, ultimately. So luckily around this time frame, I had got in contact with Kodak Black. We're both from Florida. I became his personal stylist for 2 years. I worked with him closely alongside. We had a contract where I could only work with him and him only because he was on house arrest. He was not allowed to go into the malls or shop on. He could shop online, but ultimately he chose not to. So that's where my job came into play. So I didn't expect for it to get as big as it did, but, I kind of got Kodak at the height of his career, and, I just kind of took off from there and started accumulating NFL and NBA clientele and things of that nature. So that's where I'm at now.
So basically, Kodak was your first?
My first celebrity client that I worked closely with that gave me more exposure.
Nice. So previously, before Kodak, how many other clients were you dealing with?
So I had always had clients from high school, but I moved away from Jacksonville. So I was forced with finding my way in another city where I really didn't know anybody. I didn't know the market. So I said, I have a lot of money. I kind of want to go the luxury route.
Yeah.
I no longer wanted to be a regular stylist. I wanted to put myself on a celebrity tier. So I kind of had $10,000 that I invested in designer clothing such as Burberry, Louis Vuitton, Versace. And I kind of gave Kodak a phone call and was like, hey, I'll give you all of these clothes for free right now if you put me on a contract as your personal stylist for 2 years. And, to him, that's a deal. Like, to him, he's like, yeah, like, I don't got to spend my own money. Definitely. I need you right now.
Hustle. She just gave y'all a free game on how to hustle. This young lady went over there to the war zone, earned her stripes on and off the field, and really took a chance on herself. A lot of people got to take hold to that. You know what I mean? She didn't make an excuse. She didn't say, well, maybe I could do it. Well, I done lost my clientele. No, let me risk it all on myself, and that's huge. So after you do Kodak, things start picking up.
And then slowing down.
Tell us, let's segue into that right then.
So in your career or in business in general, business always fluctuates.
Facts.
So you're gonna have your good moments and you're gonna have your bad moments.
Facts.
And luckily, I'm a hustler. So
Facts.
during the times that I did not make money with my business, I made the money with the military.
Facts.
So my bases were always covered and my bases were always met. So my business took a pause when Kodak got arrested because I was his only personal stylist. I was only allowed to work with him closely, and we did not take his legal chances into consideration, like what happens when you go to prison and I don't have any clientele because you have me buying to working with you and you only.
So what was that like? In that moment, right? You took a chance on yourself. Mm-hmm. You won. And now we got a setback. Like, where are you at mentally, honestly?
So, growing up, I've always had setbacks. I'm very resilient. My mom was a single mother raising 4 kids. And I just always saw my mom hustle and never give up and depend on anyone. So, really, when I lose everything, ultimately, that's when I go the hardest. Because it's like, wow, like,
I've been here before.
I'm so used to having, and I know how to. I'm used to having, and I'm also used to not having.
Thanks.
So it pushes me to go harder. Struggle is something that's very much familiar to me. Mm-hmm. So anytime I take a loss, I see it as it's just a part of business.
What's the saying? Hard times don't last. Hard people do. Something along that?
Yeah, something along the lines of that.
Y'all can straighten us out. Y'all can straighten us out, but it's something along those lines. I figured it out. Tough times don't last. Tough people do.
Okay. That's a good motto. That's a good motto.
And if it's not right, it sounds better.
Yeah.
Than what I said the first time.
Yeah.
So here's this little tough person because stand up for a second.
Oh God, no!
You got this little tough person.
I am. Do you want me to stand up?
Yeah, come on.
I am little. I'm very tiny, you guys.
I'm only 5'10". She make me look like I'm Shaq.
Yeah, I'm 5 feet. I'm 5 feet.
But you got this little ball of fire.
Yeah.
Let's touch back going to the military route. So you go to the military route. What was that like? What was that like? Because what are the pros and cons? Help some of the people out with the pros and cons of that, and then we'll come back to everything dope that you do.
So with the military, pretty much with anything, you got to have that bulldog mentality. Okay. As a woman and as a male, you're like first line defense, defending the country.
Yeah.
And you're briefed that you could die, your teammates could die, and you have to prepare yourself for death. Yeah. And you have to inherit that mindset. My job, I have a very good job. I have a top secret security clearance with my job, so it's benefits that come along with that. And it's also things that I'm exposed to privileged information that I can't disclose,
Yeah.
never disclose. So it's like you see things.
Superwoman.
Yeah, you see things and you know things with, terrorists and just different security things within the United States that the vast majority of the world does not see. So it changes your prerogative. I'm
just gonna say that.
Yeah.
How do you cope with that? You know what I mean?
Actually, initially I handled it very well, but now I see a therapist once a week.
Me too.
I was inpatient for 30 days. I had a mental breakdown where I had to go to a mental medical facility. And I take 6 different medications for PTSD, anxiety, and depression.
Wow.
So that's how I cope with it.
So we in this situation, we over here fighting for our country. We losing our mind without even knowing that we losing our mind.
Yeah.
How important is therapy?
Therapy for me is needed. And also time away and time apart from other people.
Yeah.
Simply because when you're not in a good space mentally and emotionally, you can taint other people. So you want to make sure you're as grounded as possible in your business transactions and your personal transactions. You don't want to taint relationships and working environments. And I got to a point where I was tainting relationships because I had a lot of things I was going through. Mentally. Yeah. And I was relying on other people to fix me, and that was not the answer. So therapy is fundamental.
So for our people, our black people, it's extremely difficult because usually when you hear therapy, well, us growing up, specifically me, when you tell somebody I might need to go see a therapist, they think, oh, you ain't nothing wrong with you, you ain't crazy. Like, what?
And that's very common in the black community, and I've seen more and more celebrities in the public eye just pretty much advocate for mental health and therapy because we're crying out for help, just not from a black standpoint, a white standpoint, Hispanic standpoint. We're all crying out for help. And the worst thing you can do is just go through a mental outbreak alone.
You're a young black woman in the military. Young black woman, not just a woman. You're a young black woman in the military. Ran majority by men. How do you get your spot? How do you wake up and just fight against them to earn your keep?
Work ethic.
That's a key word. That's one of our important words for the day, work ethic.
Work ethic. Now, do some ranks of the military have racial disparity, racial moments? That's with every organization.
Facts.
But how you set yourself apart is basically character, confidence, and work ethic. And just having that bulldog mentality. Not being lazy, not being unprofessional. Just showing, because sometimes as a black person, we are already kind of like perceived as uneducated.
Talk about it.
So pretty much me just coming in the door with my head up high and, because it's levels to the military.
Facts.
You have the Army, the Marines, the Navy, and the Air Force.
Right.
The Air Force is top tier.
Right.
That's the highest branch. And people who get into the Air Force and know anything about the military ranks, you have to have some level of knowledge to get into the Air Force.
Right.
So I'm here for a reason, and I'm obviously educated.
Talk about it.
So in those situations where I'm faced with adversity among men, because it is a male-dominated organization, you have to maintain your bearing and basically be professional. So during those moments when I'm faced with adversity, I don't ever get out of character. That people are expecting you to get out of character.
Yeah.
I don't ever get out of character. I know my rights and I know my wrongs.
And on top of that, me just understanding what we go through in life, your room for error is far thinner than the men and the people that don't share your skin tone.
Yeah. So it's like black women and black men, we have in organizations, we have to work 10 times harder.
Facts.
Now, rappers, athletes,
it's a bit different.
That's a given.
Yeah, it's a bit different.
That's a given. But in organizations where we're doctors, lawyers, dentists, we got to go harder.
Yeah.
And we got to prove ourselves. And then once you prove yourself, you kind of like, okay, cool, I proved myself. But I have so much confidence and belief in myself as a person that I would never conform to.
Run that one more time before you go. You got so much. You got so much what?
Belief and confidence.
You gotta know it.
So it's like, just 2020 with my business.
Yeah.
I made $80,000.
Ooh, pay up.
And majority of that year was COVID driven.
Pay up.
So it's one of them things where actually now I make more money with my business in the military. So my favorite preacher or motivational speaker, I should say, is Eric Thomas.
Okay.
He has this one particular video. He says, many of you are taking anything because you don't know what you want. And that's true. Some people get up every day and fulfill a job just to get bills paid and still go home and unfulfilled. And
that, you know what I call that? Being a zombie.
Yeah.
You're really just floating through life. You're not living. You're just existing.
Yep. Paying bills.
Yeah. Like being on hold. How did the military help you with what you do now with styling? Like can you? Everything we do in life always shows up at some form, whether we were babies or all the way until we're grown. So how did you transitioning from your military background help you in this world?
Discipline, patience, professionalism, bearing as a woman. I'm very attractive. A lot of people are normally attracted to me, black, white, in the military, civilian, celebrities, whatever. And I have a business first mindset. I have a business first, integrity first, character first. So I built rapport and relationships with a lot of people. And my organization is just not, it doesn't just consist of selling clothes. Under my organization, I have a company that I'm beginning to develop, and it's going to cater to education.
Woo!
So
that's how I feel right there.
So the military just basically helped me see things from a professional standpoint, a business standpoint, and just basically had a discipline.
And they know you don't play too.
Yeah.
Don't leave that out now.
Yeah.
They know you don't play.
Yeah, I do tend to be hard on the guys a little bit.
Like don't ease up now. Let them get it on.
I am pretty hard on the guys, and some people have walked away from me because they feel like I'm too much of a bulldog. But
they timid.
Yeah, I have to be like that because it's funny. Like if I'm not like that, I'm tiny. You might run over me.
And that's good. Again, that's that structure, like you said. That's that foundation that you already had going you. That was instilled in you. Now you get that military training, besides all the extracurricular activity in Afghanistan, but that discipline is key. Discipline is key to anything that you want in life.
Absolutely.
You're around a lot of successful people. So is that not one of the things that, for the great ones?
See, I see discipline more from athletes.
Okay, facts. Because we're trying, so I'm a former athlete.
Right.
And what I see with athletes, and you can probably contest to this as well. One of the things that I see is I was an athlete, and I understand something about athletes, and you could probably contest to this. One thing I understand about it's a pro and a con, because we're trained a certain way. We wake up, we know everything is mapped out for the most part, and because everything is mapped out, we tend to just follow that direction because that what got us there. It started when we were playing Optimus football, high school football, college. Everybody told us what to do, whether we believe it or not. So because they say, okay, well, if you do A and B, it's going to get you to C. So we follow that guideline. But the problem with that is when you're an athlete or a superstar and everything leaves, that's when that PTSD kicks in. That's when people don't know how to react and they start acting out of character because people not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, how do you contest with that? You know what I mean?
Honestly, and that's my biggest fear because my contract is up with the military next year, 2022 in January, and I've been in the military since I was 17. It's pretty much all I know, and I feel like because of the military, I have so much discipline. I'm like so terrified of like being late to work. Being kicked out, because getting kicked out of the military is worse than having a felony. Ooh. It's not.
Oh yeah, what is it? Discharge?
Yes, dishonorable discharge, and it's one of them things where you're pretty much blackballed from any career that you try to enter. Because, you know, the world, the United States cherish the military.
Yeah.
So a dishonorable discharge shows that you're undisciplined, unprofessional, and you did something so bad that you're dishonorable.
Oh, wow.
So it's one of them things where every day I'm fighting for that honorable discharge. So if someone offend me, which it has happened, I can't get out of character.
So you living in fear, but you're great at what you do.
Yeah, it's kind of like wearing two hats.
Is that not a catch-22? What you say? Like, because your ability just to bring people to light. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Your ability to bring people to light has nothing to do with the military. That has everything to do with who you are and what your mother gave you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The military gave you that structure. You know what I mean? It helps you see things differently from the stuff that we grew up understanding, and it exposed you to so much, good and bad. Mm-hmm. But your willingness to be great has nothing to do with the military. It has everything. Because during this, you could have easily. So we were set up to be here at what time?
I would say, what time did we say? Initially?
4, right?
4, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were set up to be here at 4, and I pay attention to everything. Anybody else would have said, you know what? We gonna push it off, right? Because we leaving out of town tomorrow, and I told you that, and you make the adjustments like, well, why don't we just do it a little bit later? Mm-hmm. That's your hustle. That's your grind. Because you could have easily just, he ain't important, or they ain't important, or this ain't important. Everything is important to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just seen you talk to a few clients and helping situations out while you already in a situation. Yeah. Why?
I think it's one of the things where I have people skills, and I was once in a lot of people's shoes where they were starting their company from the ground up, and you know, a lot of people gave me an opportunity. And like I tell people, I have set fees for certain things. However, there's times where I may charge a small fee or may not charge a fee at all. Yeah. Simply because it's one of the things where I identify the passion. And that has got me, that has came back and bit me in the butt quite a few times, just kind of looking out for people and just trying to share love and spread organizations on my social media platform. So I'm like, okay, well, I used to do everything for free simply because I'm like, man, I remember when I was at this point. Right. And each client, I make $5,000 off of each client. Yeah. So I'm fine. Yeah. And I also have a military paycheck that's guaranteed. I'm on a salary. Yeah. So it's not about the money, but I have to charge something because you know what? Nothing in life is free. Facts. And if I shoot you a price, pretty much it's going to be a low number. Right. And you decline it, I had to question myself, do you feel like I'm worth it? Yeah. You just said. So it's one of the things where oh my God. Understand what she just said. Her value is here. I'm out the camera, but you get it. Her value is here. Even though she do stuff out of love, tax deductions, whatever the case may be, she understands her value. So if she's doing a favor, that's basically what it is, to a company or clients or whomever, and they show no interest in the favor and the loyalty that she's showing to them, she questions that. That's a smart move. Because it gives me the idea of, okay, well, if I was to lower my prices or not charge you a price at all, you'll expect that from me all the time. And there's a point in time where I even have to reevaluate things when it comes to my hair artists, my makeup artists, and things of that nature, because they're so used to me paying full price for their service and giving a additional $50 tip. Right. So someone may charge me $100 for my makeup, and I may end up paying $150. Yeah. And also doing promotion on social media because I know I'm an influencer. Yeah. So you're gonna get about 10 to 15 clients off of me, and then you still profit. And there were times where, you know, I may have needed my makeup touched up, and they wouldn't budge on a price, or they would say, well, I know you gave me an extra tip yesterday, but I still got to charge you full price. And at that moment in time, I have to evaluate the mindset. Because, you know, it's millions of people that'll DM me and say, hey, can I do your makeup for free for exposure? And if I know you, I'll just support you and help you out because it's not about, in this game, it's about who you know. It's always resources.
What resources can you reach and grab hold to? And you've developed those resources, so I understand exactly what you mean and what you say, because I've been in those shoes before. Mm-hmm. You do so much pro bono work, giving. Mm-hmm. But at some point, we all know that this life is ran off of fuel, and fuel is revenue. Mm-hmm. And as you say, if you give me a price, I know I'm confident enough in myself to say, well, I have to be able to see and acknowledge that this person is very powerful, and they're giving me their time. It's yours. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of people don't value that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to start valuing, number one, your time. Number one, yourself. Mm-hmm. Run that back again. Yourself. She knows she's a beautiful young lady, so therefore she values herself, not to degrade herself for all these men. She in basically every area that you're in is a male dominant field. Mm. NBA, NFL, rapping. Oh my God. What is that like? Like how many times do you get hit on in a day?
You know what?
You lost count.
You know what? I just had a falling out with someone simply because, I thought we were getting to know each other, but, I upload my work from the photo shoots with the guys, and he decides to say that I'm around too many men.
Oh, man.
And it's like, do you choose, you knew what my profession was
Facts.
prior to meeting me.
Facts.
And it's like, do you choose... at some point, we gotta respect women with strong hustles.
Facts.
Because me personally, I'm in the military, and I also have a side business selling clothes.
Yeah.
I have a legit hustle. I'm not having sex for money. I'm not a stripper. No discredit to anyone that is.
No discredit to anyone. We just talking about her.
So it's just like, I'm a strong, independent woman. Yeah. I own my house.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I own my car.
Yeah.
And I pretty much do everything on my own independently.
Yeah.
So it's like, you have to root and congratulate for women that are making their own way, because there's some women who, like, seriously, there are some women who aren't doing anything.
Absolutely. So now we're going to talk about that, because I love that. Mm-hmm. So let's get into the topic of insecurities. Everybody always feels as if the women are the most insecure. There are a lot of insecure men.
I think insecure and a lot of men, what I see is a lot of intimidation and a lot of insecurity. Say, for instance, I could never deal with a military guy because they know in the back of their mind that I have ties to athletes and rappers. And a lot of people are status and money driven. Some people feel like, oh, well, he may have more money and status than me, so she may not take me serious.
That's crazy.
But really, NFL, NBA, they're always on the road. They're always gone.
Yeah.
And they tend to deal with a lot of women. Military guy, regular guy, lawyer, doctor, maybe a little bit more settled, homebody. And then maybe more of my speed. You have to identify your love language and what you need.
I heard her.
So it's one of the things with me having PTSD and severe trauma, I need someone who's very attentive to me.
Nice.
So an athlete, rapper, they may not understand like my love language and how to care for me and how to respond to certain reactions and emotions that my body have from my conditions. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, because it's not just a men thing or woman thing. Understand what she's saying again. You got to know who you are as a person. Mm-hmm. Once you know who you are as a person, then you can help identify everything around you. It's an emotional intelligence. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite books in the world, I call it the Bible, is Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. I think everybody should pick that up. It teaches you how to focus your energy on, number one, your intuition and knowing what you love, and also being able to identify with another person's emotions, because every day is not a great day at all, not even a little bit. Mm. So but you got to know the person and be able to say, hey, is everything all right with you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, are you okay? Mm-hmm. Especially when you let people in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So you're around a lot of energy, man. A lot of energy, high energy. Like, how do you not
get intertwined with
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm like a sponge. So I feel everything.
Okay.
I feel everything. I see everything. And I'm an energy and vibe person myself. So I know when the vibe is off and the energy is off, when something's going to be wrong. And I act quickly. That's just part of me being in the military and being super resilient. So energies, man. You know, like I turn a lot of clients away, and I walk away from a lot of deals because the energy and the mindset is off, and it's bad. I have some guys that are super arrogant. I have some guys that, you know, have had a tendency to degrade me in closed settings, insinuating that I've had to sleep around for work and support, which I made a vow to myself I would never sleep with anyone for work or support, simply because I don't have to.
Do you feel like it's a lot of entitlement?
Definitely. A lot of entitlement, and a lot of guys, they're spoiled. So they pull me left and right. They get jealous. They see me working with other people on the internet.
Yeah.
They'll call me like, they'll call me like,
I see you over there with.
No, like they'll call me like, oh, you gave him better stuff than me, or you said you was gonna come by here at 3 o'clock. You've been in Miami because they know I'm not from. They know I fly into all my clients.
Yeah.
And I have so many clients in every area. I have at least 3 clients on each NFL team in an NFL league. Okay. So when I fly into different places, I'm meeting with at least 3 people. I don't move for one person.
Yeah.
If that's the case, you just wire me the money and I can ship it to you.
Facts.
I fly out. We can take pictures. We can do promotion.
Yeah.
You know, I can do a closet appraisal. Like as soon as I leave here, I got to go to someone that plays for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Closet appraisal. Get rid of all his old shoes and clothes. Put in the new stuff that I brought in. And pretty much do that.
Tell them if you want to donate it, we got kids that in need. So
absolutely,
we take all that.
Absolutely.
Our kids, family and neighbors improving talent. That's the other business. But
absolutely.
We will get to that a little bit. Tell all your clients that don't want their stuff. I got kids in need down here in South Florida. We have kids in need. Asia, you gonna plug us in. We want all your stuff. All I wear is fancy stuff, so I don't wear your stuff. But my kids, man, they're great kids, great athletes, great people, cheerleaders, everything. So
yeah.
But anyways, man, for you to be so small and so active and so precise and so messed up, you're a dope person.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Because that's the makeup of a person. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
I've never met a person. Anybody that pretend to act like they perfect, I don't want to be around them.
Yeah.
Anybody that consider like long as if things affect me in a negative way, I don't want no parts of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you got that same type of energy. Like we literally met today.
Definitely. And it seemed like we've known each
other.
other. Yeah.
We don't have.
I see. That's how I lock in with people though. Yeah. My energy. A lot of my clients. My client that I just left, this was our first time meeting.
Come on, man.
But the energy, if you look at my Instagram and see our interactions and our energy, you would think that we've been working together.
I agree.
We've been conversing for maybe about 2 weeks. We locked our deal in. He signed his contract, and then I'm here today.
Come on, now. We winning. Check it. Check. So with that being said, right, what advice can you give a kid out here looking to do the things that you do and navigate through life the way that you did? Because it's somebody out there literally going through the same things that you're going through. How do we help them right now?
Ultimately, I would just say find out what you're passionate about. Get focused. Eliminate all distractions. And stay around like-minded people. And importantly, get you some mentors. I've had a lot of mentors growing up and just humbling myself. Still 23 years old, and at the tier that I am, I still reach out to women below me and say, hey, can you mentor me? It's other women that doesn't have social media accounts, but they have law degrees. I don't have a law degree. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting, but I don't have a law degree. So when I see law degree, doctorate degrees, I get inspired by that. And I'm like, hey, can you mentor me? You're educated. I may need you. We may need each other in the long run. I'm not going to discredit you because you don't have your social media platform. You have your law degree. You went through a lot of schooling for that.
So don't be afraid to shoot your shot at all. Because if you walk around in fear, you'll never reach the plateau in which you want to create in your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the first thing I seen was you follow me. Yeah. And then when you follow me, I'm like, hey, you here? Because I've seen some of your stuff before. You know what I mean? So when you follow me, I'm like, oh, that's dope. And then I'm like, you here? And she said, like, I found your page through Trayvon. Shout out to my Mullen family. Look, let's talk about Favorite for a little bit. So I have never met Trayvon before, ever. Not one time. But his mother and I are like this.
Yeah.
She was on the show. And when you're connected into situations and you're in tune with yourself, stuff like that happens because I told her, I said, you still blessing me. You ain't even try. I had to call her. I'm like, hey, you know her? She's like, oh, yeah, I seen her before. I think Trey deals with him. You know what I mean? But we have to understand if we pay attention to our self-conscious and we're not afraid, I'm going to keep saying that, we're not afraid, and we take fear out of the equation and we just go for it, man, sky's the limit. Like, so you're selling wholesale clothes, but yet you still took a leap of faith. Why not just say forget it? Like, why not just run away from it?
Honestly, money's going to come with anything.
Ooh, tell them again.
It's really the passion in my clients.
Come on now.
My clients, I have a big organization, Compelled of Men, and, you know, first and foremost, I just got to shout out to a lot of my clients.
Please do. Show them love.
They admire my hustle. They respect me. A lot of my clients, I can meet them for the first time, and I'm at their house with their family.
Yeah.
And these are guys with $10 million, $5 million contracts.
Yeah.
You know, not letting anybody come to where they live. I have gate codes to homes, elevator codes to penthouses, you know, and they trust me because I have integrity and I have character, and you know, they feel like they can let their guard down, which they can, and I let my guard down as well. But we get to know each other. We all have integrity.
You gotta have
and
it.
A lot of these guys, just like me, they're in positions where every day is a fight for a job.
Agreed.
Like I can be out in the military at any given moment, and they can be out in the NFL or the NBA at any given moment. So we all going hard. We all have a purpose, and we understand that. So when you're dealing with people that have things to lose, the treatment is different.
Yes.
You're not going to deal with someone bashing you on the internet. You're not going to deal with someone leaking confidential information because we all have something to lose. And
high risk.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm gonna dumb it down a bit. So those friends that you're around, or those family members that you're around, that every time you confide into them, and then somehow magically it ends up at the picnic. And you like, hold on, how my business get out there? You have to be mindful of who you give your energy to. You got to be mindful who you give your heart, your thought process to, because everybody isn't trustworthy just because somebody's a family member. You got family members that touch other family members, right or wrong?
That's right. That's good.
So therefore, you have to understand who you are, what you're not going to appease to, and make it work, man. Make it work, because this thing can work. We have a young lady sitting next to me. She's only 23 years old. 23 years old, that took a chance on herself in school, in the military, and now still doing things her own way. So what does that tell you? You can do the same thing. We're no different. She's no different. She's down to earth. She's telling you right now, you can do the same thing. With any situation that you're dealing with, anything that you're going through, it don't matter. It can change. We all fall short, right? Your mom was a single parent, 4 kids, right? So was mine. You know what I mean? My mom wasn't in my life. My dad wasn't in my life. Okay. Everybody will understand. Oh, just give up. He ain't had nobody. Like, no, yo, you got to keep going. Right? So, look, we appreciate every moment, every situation. Again, Asia, man, this is a hard-working young lady, man. So, I have a real hard time respecting lazy people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Extremely hard time respecting lazy people or making excuses because of circumstances, because your circumstances are not you. You can come out of them. You can come through them. This is a young lady from Jacksonville, Florida. She be all over the world because of her mindset. We speak about that a lot on the show. Your thought process, if you change it and you just work on it every day, no matter what, because it's going to be an uphill battle every day. Asia just said to you guys that she goes to therapy every week. So do I. Like, It's one of the things, because it's some things that that we have going on inside us that we need help with. And you're not gonna get the help from all your yes men. All them yes men are the people that's around you that they think they know you, but they don't know you. You know who I was. You don't know who I'm becoming. You know what I mean? Every day when you work towards something, you're only gonna get better at it. I'm quite sure you wasn't the greatest stylist at first. You knew you were gonna be that though because you worked at it.
Yeah.
You knew you was gonna be great in the military because you worked at it. You didn't have any fear. You know what I mean? I don't know when, but I know sooner than later it's gonna even go even higher because of the type of tenacity that you put into everything. So never stop, never slow down. Keep working hard to the point where it's like a million ages and you just overseeing everybody, because that's what it's gonna come to. I think what you have is something special that you can teach and bring other people on. That may be something you may need to look into, especially with your year coming up. I don't think you need to live in fear. I just think you need to enhance already who you already are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like fear, false evidence appearing real. That's what it is. The military did not make you. You growing up, going through all the things that you went through made you. And you're just continuously take those teaching points, apply them to your life as you grow. You're young, man. 23 is extremely young. Your life hasn't even started yet. Like, the route that you going, girl, sky's the limit. You know what I mean? With that being said, please let these people know where they can reach you at.
You guys can reach me at Instagram, Asia Knowles. It's Asia Knowles, ASIAHKNOWLES. Knowles like Beyonce Knowles.
Yeah, you heard it.
You guys can reach me there. That's the only social media outlet I have as of right now. I try to, keep it limited a little bit. Yeah. So pretty much, yeah.
Dude, so what other? Before we go, what other stylists do you respect? Like who inspired you?
Honestly, no one.
Nice.
No one. I just kind of found my own niche, and until this day, it's really hard for me to find other stylists because, I focus so hard on my niche, and I'm the type of person, I don't like to fall into the comparison brackets of, well, this person is working with this person, they care more about this person's offering this. I've gotten so far just staying in my own lane. I don't follow trends. I don't look into what the next stylist is doing. I just stay in my own lane. Like, for instance, I just left a shoot and someone was like, well, do you know this stylist so-and-so? And I was like, never heard of him.
no disrespect.
No disrespect, but I'm just like, I feel like I'm the best stylist. Nice. It's like my work and my name speaks for itself. So I don't look into other people's work. I don't do that because I don't want to get discouraged.
So basically, what she's telling you again,
stay
on your lane, stay focused on what you can control. Don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about somebody competing. The only person you need to compete with is the person in the mirror.
Absolutely.
With that being said, I am your host, Arvis Lawson, and this is my guest host, Asia Knowles, and this has been another great episode of The Vent. Give him peace sign. You all in the camera. The camera right here, Asia. Right here, Asia.